Well, hello there. 'Tis I, Dave Murray, the big guy at Mayniax Branding, and well, today I thought I'd just make it simple and just talk to all of you about three entrepreneurs that I kind of keep track of and tell you why I keep track of them. So, well, without further babbling, let's get into it. So, the first entrepreneur I really pay attention to is Elon Musk. Now, before I go any further, I don't mean this in any particular order. It's not like one trumps the other. It's just I follow them for different reasons. But here's why I follow the good Mr. Musk. Every decision he makes seems to be guided by his vision of cleaner energy for right now, for the time we're living in, and the human race moving beyond the planet Earth for the future when maybe Earth's not around anymore. And everything he's doing is following those two visions. And that's really cool because oftentimes you hear a lot of people say things like, yeah, we just need to be guided by the almighty dollar. We need to be guided by profit, this, that. He's a perfect example of if you follow your vision and it's a big deal where you can help a lot of people, you can still make a lot of money and a whole lot of profit. It's not just geared towards money, 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 give me all the money. The man is following his heart, he's following his passion, he's going after his vision, and he's making it work in a huge, huge way. So that's why I follow Elon Musk. Let's get to the next person. Now, another entrepreneur that I follow is Mark Sisson. Now, I've talked about him in a past video, maybe a couple. He runs marksdailyapple.com. He came up with the Primal Blueprint years ago, which is a health-related ebook or just physical copy you can pick up. He's a guy who used to run marathons. He became a triathlete. He was highly competitive in running. I mean, insanely, like I said in the past video that I did where I just brought him up, he was on the cover of Runner's World. I mean, this guy was no joke. But what he realized was he was doing all the stuff of the day that was supposed to lead him to an insanely healthy lifestyle. He shouldn't have been hurt. He shouldn't have been feeling like crap all the time, but he was. So what he had to do was he had to switch it up and say, okay, what they tell me to do, how often they tell me to run and all that, it's not working for me. And in fact, as he's studied more and more, the science has borne out that he was right. You don't want to carb up for runs and things like that. So he was really instrumental in me when I was starting to look up health. I would look up Mark's Daily Apple, and he's an example of someone who needed to make a switch in his life, and another guy who, because of that switch in life, he was able to have this vision of getting people all healthy. He had, I think he initially said he wanted to just make a difference for 10,000 people. Then it became 100,000. Now all kinds of people have heard of this guy. And when he first started out, he was the perfect example of somebody who was writing content every single day. He worked his butt off. And what was really nice was seeing that what he would write would be on pretty complicated subjects, but he was able to distill them to make people like, I don't know, me, understand a little bit of the science behind everything. So he was really cool in that regard. Now, check out marksdailyapple.com. A lot of the older articles are sweet. He hasn't been writing so much the last year or two. He's had other people writing. I mean, there's still posts that go up every day, but he's not writing all of them because, frankly, the guy made all kinds of money doing all this stuff while also pursuing his passion of making people incredibly healthy. So that's the second one that I follow. On to numero tres. And the third entrepreneur, at least for this video, that I really follow is Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, why do you ask, do I follow Gary V? Simple answer is this: the guy knows what he's talking about. So he'll post things where he's dropping F-bombs like mad, but being highly motivational. And while a lot of people get offended by such things as the F-bombs and constant swearing and everything, what they fail to see is the wisdom behind what he's actually saying. The guy's not saying this stuff to be intentionally provocative, or maybe he was in the early days, but I think that's just how the man talks. He just wants to get his point across, and dropping an F-bomb is going to be a lot more powerful than saying, gosh darn it. So people tend to pay attention. And one of the real big things that he talks about is, don't listen to what I say, watch what I do. And if you follow his channels across social media and across everything you can find, you'll see how hardcore things are getting posted. You'll see back in the early days, he was constantly commenting on people's posts on Twitter, things that happened so that he could get his name out there and really help accelerate the whole Gary V brand. So he learned from the early days of the internet how to do this internet marketing. And then he talks a lot about investing and why he's decided he wants to do this or that or the other thing. You find out who he is big time. One of his big things, he wants to buy the New York Jets. Gary, I know you're a big fan of the Jets, so I understand that. But man, if you do, I do hope you can do something and make them better. But that's another reason. That's another person to follow. Plus, I don't know a ton about marketing. I mean, I know a lot more than I used to, but I need to follow the man so I can start figuring out what he's doing, do what he does. He's leading by example for those of us who don't have that marketing background that he does. So there you go. That's why I follow the good Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk. And there you go, folks. 3 entrepreneurs whom I really follow, I really pay attention to, just because you can see the entire history of what it took for them to get to where they are today. And you can look at that, and you don't have to pave a new road. You can kind of look at that and get your clues on how to move forward. It's a pretty sweet deal. Anywho, if you're digging content like this and you want to see more, or you just want to do something like, I don't know, build your brand for less than tens of thousands of dollars, head on over to Mayniax Branding's Patreon page, where you can just support because you love what I talk about, or you can actually spend $10 a month to learn how to build your own brand. And folks, that's all I've got for this video. So I hope everybody's having fun. Hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're all staying healthy. And of course, stay gutsy, gang.